Good day, and welcome to your weekly meditation. So, we're going to do an upright posture, but I like to offer to people, I'll say it probably every time. If it feels like it would be better for you to lie down or support yourself in some other way, please do. Please do. If you're showing up, that's really the main thing. Yeah. And then the second thing is my request is always finding that long spine. So if you're in upright posture, usually what helps facilitate that is the middle of the buttocks bones, right? Because when your pelvis is neutral, the rest of the spine can usually grow out of that. And if you do happen to be lying down, hopefully just lying somewhere where, again, you can find that nice long spine. There's standing meditation, walking meditation, right? So all of them just find that long spine. And close the eyes when you feel like you're settled in onto your foundation, whatever that is today. And we're going to take just a few moments in that foundation. So I'm going to speak to buttocks, bones, and shins since I'm in an upright posture, but hopefully you correlate that to whatever you need it to be depending on yours. So imagine, if you will, we're going to just visualize for a little bit here that every point of contact we have with the floor or a block or a blanket or whatever that might be, a pillow, I want you to imagine that you have roots growing out of that, right? Down into the ground. And play, right? So many people say, I'm not creative. If you woke up and you are getting through your day, you are raising children, you are making meals, you are working, you are creative. We all are creative. We create every day. So, what do your roots look like? Big bundles, small and spindly? Do they go just mainly down? Do they go down and out? Are they gnarly, dainty, etc.? So just play with what those roots are for you. And then, you've got that beautiful, I'm going to correlate it to a tree. You've got that beautiful trunk growing out of that reaches up towards that beautiful sun, right? Millions of miles away from us. So we have I'm going to put it in air quotes, the best of both worlds, right? We're grounded down to the earth and we're very centered there. And yet we do have this quality of moving up and rising to meet that sun. And I'm going to stick with that image of a tree, right? And we're going to go back to meditation I had brought in some time ago at the beginning of COVID when we were all feeling like we were separate from each other. Trees, when they grow down their root system, either the tree roots touch the other tree roots and or they're connected by mycelium, which are fungi, right? Many different kinds of fungi. So they're all connected down through those roots. And through that, they exchange, right? Maybe one tree is really close to water and gives water to the rest of the grove. Maybe one is right by iron and picks up that iron and gives and supplies iron. So I would like you to imagine that your roots right now are connecting to the roots of, let's pick one person to begin with, and that can be someone who is alive, but it doesn't have to be, because the other thing that's amazing that we've learned scientifically is that energy never goes away. So the energy of the people we love, it still exists. So maybe you imagine yourself reaching out and touching their roots. And maybe there's an exchange of energy. Maybe there's something that you can offer them through your roots that might be helpful to them. Maybe there's something you can imagine their roots offering you. And just visualize that exchange of energy. that connection. And if you feel like you need more time there, take more time there. But maybe there's another being presently in their body, or maybe they've left their body whom you want to make contact with. I want you to imagine your roots moving out and meeting theirs. And what does that exchange feel like? What could you both benefit from in that exchange, that connection? And thinking of these connections being getting nutrients, getting our needs met, right? Restoring, revitalizing, whatever words you want to put on that, but there it's a healing exchange. And again, I offer you, if you would like to stay with this being and you're benefiting from that, stay there, please do. But maybe there's another beautiful being whom you would like to connect with, whom you're not right next to at the moment. And you feel your roots connect to their roots, no matter where they are in this universe, connect to them. And again, what is a restorative, rejuvenative, beneficial? What is the exchange here with this new being? And I think it's interesting to start to articulate our needs, right? To know we do have different people in our lives, again, whether they're present with us physically or not, who they offer us certain things that we might not be able to get from anybody else. Can you imagine receiving that from this being right now? And I'm a fan of reciprocal relationships. So maybe there's something that you can give them that you yourself can offer them. And maybe you can imagine that as we connect with each of these beings, that keeps going in the background, that exchange, that it doesn't just happen for those few moments while we're there. And so everyone that you've touched so far, every being, I should say, every being that you've touched so far, that's still happening in the background. But maybe there's another person you'd like to invite in, or another being, trying to move away from person. Maybe you have an animal or a beloved plant. It can be anything. And maybe you imagine that you touch them with your roots, sending them light and healing energy in whatever form that takes for you. And they send back whatever it is, right, that you need from them. And we can have a tendency, if we're not with someone, when we remember them or think about them, to go into a pining place, right? Pining, longing for connection with them. But what if this can be that connection? And instead of pining for them, we really just imagine that this beautiful thing is occurring and we have a connection, right? We make that connection, we cultivate it. And then we don't have to pine quite as much. I know that's super simplistic. I know, I know. Maybe even a little naive, but I do believe in the power that we hold within our bodies and our minds and our visualizations. So maybe now you invite in every being, and you don't have to remember each person, each being individually, right? But all beings that you want to connect with. Imagine that you are all connected through your roots, and that there's this amazing network that's at your quote fingertips at any point in time, your root tips, right? At your root tips at any given point in time. And that even if we're not next to those we love, we still have their presence, we still get their energy, we still get nutrients, we get our needs filled and met through this network. And if the mind wanders, just like every other meditation, right, we bring it back. And today, let's bring it back to that visualization. And if it doesn't feel overwhelming, let it be a complete network to every being you've ever loved, right, that you still love. And imagine them being an active part as well, right? Their roots touching yours, and there's an exchange, there's a connection. Sometimes I like to even play that our roots gently move around each other, like holding hands. And that as I get these connections, as I get this energy from other people, I grow stronger and I get all the nutrients I need. My tree trunk just grows so strong, and my crown reaches up towards that beautiful gold sun above my head. And for the last part of this visualization, I want you to imagine that golden sun above you. And then I want you to imagine that those rays come from the golden sun and they come down and shower you right through the crown of your head, filling up your entire body, even going out through those roots, maybe even going into other people's roots and filling them up as well. But make sure you get filled up by that beautiful golden sun, those rays coming down onto you, through you. So we've got that beautiful exchange, that earth energy. And today it's in the form of other people's roots and our loved ones filling us up, right? As well as Mother Nature and coming up. And we have that beautiful golden sun above us. And that energy is coming down. And I always like to think of it like an AC DC current. And before we, pardon me, move on from this visualization, if you feel like there's someone that you realize you'd like to make contact with, maybe you already did, and you want to be with them for just a little bit longer, right? Go ahead and focus on that one other tree, those other roots coming from that one tree one more time here. We're feeding each other. Yeah. And you don't have to say goodbye because this is going to continue to happen even as we start to finish our meditation and go about our day. Those roots are still connected and we still have that exchange anytime we need it. Just bring your awareness to it and just imagine, visualize it happening. And there it is. So when we bring our hands up to the heart today, I want you to have them split about a half inch, a quarter inch. Start bringing them towards one another nice and slow and bring them as close as you can without the hands actually touching. And then feel the energy that moves between your palms. We do have an electromagnetic field, right? And the hands are one of the easiest places we can access feeling that sensation. Because we use them so often, the mind has a lot of billions of neurons that fire here. So feel that exchange of energy, that energy between the palms. And I kind of wish I would have done this at the beginning because that's to me what the roots feel like when I touch someone else's roots. I don't even have to touch them, and there's an energy between us. Bring your palms together in front of your heart and bring them all the way together now. Inhale, exhale, bowing your head in, and just taking a moment of gratitude that you gave yourself the space and time. Gratitude for all of those loved ones that have touched us and fed us throughout our lives, whether they've been next to us or not. Namaste. May you be so well, friends. May all beings everywhere be well.